Real good football question here. People been bringing some good sports asking me, what would have happened if Joe Montana and Dan Marino had traded places? What may have it been? Woo, this one is fire. And does it make Marino rise higher? Well, for some, Marino's already considered one of the 10 greatest quarterbacks ever. Win no ring, or win no ring, which just goes to show that if you leave a kind of impact, you don't even have to win a ring. Because he carries a lot of weight. Marino was that bad. But had he had the 49ers situation with a Roger Craig, he never had a running game and he didn't have he had a good defense, they just couldn't finish up nothing. But imagine, um, I don't know if he could have done what Montana did with the Dwight Clark era, the Earl Cooper era when they first won that first Super Bowl against Cincinnati. That I don't know. And with Freddie Solomon, I don't know if he wins those two rings before Jerry Rice. I'll say this. Once they had Jerry Rice, and then you had that crew come in, and then of course Ronnie Lott and all them guys, he bound to won a couple. But I don't know if he could have done what Montana did early on. Montana is so underappreciated in that regard that he didn't even have a top tier player. Roger Craig was, but not considered a top elite player when he was winning his early rings as far as offense goes. That's what him and Brady have in common. So that's quite an interesting flash, if you must, on the screen, if you must. That speaks volumes in itself. What would that have been like? Now, we bring it up to that's one thing about Montana. That would have been interesting. I mean, you put him with Don Shula, and Shula was an offensive guru genius. Because I think Don Shula and Bill Walsh are two of the greatest five coaches ever. And their mindset and the way they could utilize offenses would have been a great trade-off. And you put Joe Montana with the Marx brothers and Tony Nathan, Andre Franklin, and then the defense. I think Miami wins a chip or two. I do. I think Montana would thrive. Remember, he got a Kansas City to the AC Championship game. They left Frisco, and I don't think Kansas City necessarily had a better offense than what Marino had in Miami. I'm just saying. But I think that you put him in a situation, I think he could have done something. So I think that could have been a real interesting situation. But Marino with Bill Walsh would have been incredible. It would have been like it'd have been probably more explosive than Don Coryell with Dan Fouts and Winslow Chandler and Joyner, and Chuck Muncie and James Brooks and all what they had in San Diego and Kellen Winslow Sr. If you think about it, that could have been very explosive for Miami. It would have been some interesting what is. Could have probably they did meet in one Super Bowl in the 49ers. No one ever talks about that Super Bowl because the 49ers put the clamps down on Miami. The Duper brothers, the Marx brothers didn't get off. Would have been interesting though if what you got now. Would that have been quite compelling. But what do I think if we flip them? I think they both win. I think you have an interesting scenario of some battles. I think that would have probably been a real somewhere between the 1 to 4 slot of the two greatest quarterbacks ever because I think they would have been battling for Super Bowls. I really do. I think that would have been an incredible switch off and a trade off because Marino would have had more firepower and a balance. Joe Montana, you got to remember the stylings that how he played, and he still was able to thrive. That's why I think he was a better quarterback than Marino for the record because you could do more with Joe. See, this is a twisted thing because people will say, well, but Marino was better talent wise. I said, yeah, but he couldn't. He didn't have the versatility Montana did. Montana was a comeback player, compartmentalized. You could do a lot more with Joe's skill set. Marino was a better talent, but Montana to me was a better quarterback. It's a good debate, but they both would have thrived. But if I had to give one the edge, I'd have to say Montana. Because I think as great as he was with Frisco, with Don Shula, he'd have been even more scarier. Montana's numbers go with the 49ers. I don't know if he gets to the same heights as Montana. I could take Joe Montana, put him anywhere, and he'd win. But you tell me what you think. Please like, subscribe, work on thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like and hit that membership. Because when you do, requests like this come true. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.